Okay, second match we're gonna preview, Gable Steveson, Nick Gwiazdowski. I know I was thrown off by Gable Steveson putting that hammer down on Adam Kuhn, but let's not forget how good Nick Gwiazdowski is. So Matt, tell us how good Nick Gwiazdowski is.
All right, so when I'm looking at Gwiazdowski and Gable Steveson, I'm looking at two of the best heavyweight athletes in the entire world. For both of these guys, and if I'm Nick Gwiazdowski, I'm going to prove that my athletic ability reigns supreme over Gable. And so when I look and I break down Gwiz, his ability to transition, not just string one or two things together, but I think he's got the innate ability. Everything he does usually comes in threes. It's not just an initial attack, it's a shot to a reshot. And most of the time, he follows that up with 3 attacks in a row. And it just shows he's forcing you to wrestle through each one of these positions with the understanding that eventually his superior athletic ability is gonna come through. And I know we can get into the whole debate on athletic ability.
We'll stay out of that today. Let's just get into the wrestling technique.
But some of the things that he's shown to do, and I think this is the beauty of Gwiazdowski being a lighter heavyweight for the majority of his career. He's had to become more reliant on his athletic ability, give a little bit more effort in every situation.
Because Nick's big. Now, Nick's like 255, 260 now, but Nick, when he started college, was we're talking 220, 225, right?
And that's the amazing thing about him. The bigger he's gotten, he's never sacrificed his ability to move and his ability to be agile. So I'm going to break down one situation where he's shown the ability to string multiple things together. And this is just off his initial attack. Typically what he does, Gwiazdowski's right leg is his attack leg, whether it's his sweep single or whether he's doing a knee pull. He's initiating that with his right leg. And what he's shown the ability to do in a lot of sequences, he won't even hit his knee to transition into his attack and re-attack. So a lot of times he'll go high single, you take that back, he'll go knee pull, and as you square up, he goes right into a drive double. So without even hitting his knee, he's transitioning to 3 attacks. He goes high single, knee pull, into a double. So he'll go sweep, leg pull, and he always keeps his feet moving. That's the beauty of Gwiz. He never lets his feet get set. He's always moving. He's always hustling.
And so to counter that, I mean, one of the things you always hear about Gable is how well he moves his feet. And you brought it up. They're both elite athletes, especially for heavyweight, something we don't see as much at heavyweights, people moving their feet. And, if you think back to the Anthony Cassar match, and then we saw at the Open, at the trials, is Gable pushes people around. Okay? And so if I'm pushing you around, one of the things in freestyle more than folk style, and this is one of the things I think about, why is he more effective in freestyle than folk style, is because every time you go to bounds, I get a point, right? So maybe I do get a couple push-outs and you're okay with that, but eventually you're gonna try to get off the edge. And so when I'm pushing and dominating position and then you start moving, that's where Gable's finding a lot of his angles. Now, so for me, the question is, we talked about Gwiazdowski, he's not a small guy, he's 260. Can Gable move Gwiazdowski? And my initial sentiment says no, but I also didn't think Gable was going to kill Adam Kuhn. So if Gable can get in there and he can push Nick Gwiazdowski around and he can get him on the edge and then he can get to his attacks, I think that's where he needs to be to win the fight. He needs to take Nick Gwiazdowski out of the center. He needs to get him towards the edge. He needs to create the motion and get points there.
Yeah, because now back to Gwiz, I think the challenge here for Gable is how do you get Gwiazdowski to get his feet set in the mat?
Yeah.
Because I think the beauty of what Gwiz does, he never wrestles from control tie. Yeah. That's where Gable was so effective against Adam Kuhn. They got into a lot of control tie positions, and that's where Gable was passing, elbow, getting his angle. But typically where Gwiz is in his hand fighting, he's wrestling inside, outside.
Which is something you usually don't see out of heavyweights.
No.
I mean, heavyweights are usually in collars, in underhooks, maybe biceps at worst, but Gwiz is, you're saying on the hands and wrists.
And this is the beauty, this is where, again, Gwiz being a smaller heavyweight, he was at a physical disadvantage for so long in his career that getting in, he was at a natural disadvantage against any big heavyweight. So he had to learn how to wrestle from space where he's pulling elbows, he's passing, moving his feet, he's initiating his hand fighting from space. So it's not control tie hand fighting, it's space hand fighting.
Yeah, so if he's able to keep Gable off him and keep him from pushing him around, I kind of feel like it's going to be an easy night for Nick Gwiazdowski. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I think that if Gable can't get into him, get him moving around, I think Gable's going to have time scoring a takedown, hard time scoring any takedowns.
Yeah. All right, so back to Gwiazdowski's, some of his keys to victory. Not only does he have to chain wrestle on his initial attacks, he also has to chain wrestle through his finishes. And he's so good at transitioning, feeling the pressure that the opponent's giving him, beating him to the second situation before the guy even gets here. And so he does that, a series of several different things. Typically, his go-to shot is his sweep single, and he's an extremely active heavyweight. I think that's the other thing that we haven't talked about is the offensive output from these two guys are probably much higher than the majority of heavyweight guys in the world.
Well, not to make a counterpoint, but you've seen some of the best guys in the world. Pitchers Vili, he has a high amount of leg attacks. Who's the other big guy? Akgul, great leg attacker. So, I agree with you. Most of the world can't leg attack, but the very best, which Nick Gwiazdowski is in that at the edge of that category and wants to move into that category, can leg attack for sure.
So right away, Gwiz's go-to attack is his sweep single, but right away, it's almost like this is his go-to finish, is almost his cutback. If he can get to the backside, he's going to get to the backside. By that, I mean he sweeps. If he can chase it down the backside, he's going to get it down the backside. But he knows most of these high-level guys he's wrestling, they're going to beat that initial attack and probably get their baseline defense set. As soon as they start going to their baseline, Gwiazdowski has a beautiful transition into his cutback. So right away, as he hits the sweep, he feels this guy establishing his baseline D, and right away he's stepping up, driving his head across, cutting back on the finish. Now, the second go-to is he'll actually go to a knee pull. So instead of going to a sweep, he'll go to his knee pull. And same thing, as soon as he feels his opponent's baseline defense getting set, he's got an unbelievable ability to get to the corner, which is exceptional for a heavyweight. He gets to the corner right away and chases it down, which for a heavyweight guy, that's a lot of movement and a lot of ground to cover when you're carrying the weight of, a 260
Absolutely. I mean, Matt, you can't name a lot of heavyweights domestically who have a great head inside single, because it is hard to have so much weight on you when you're getting stretched out. You think a heavyweight, you think more high crotches, double legs. You don't think of a lot of head inside singles, but Nick Gwiazdowski has made a living on both the head inside single and a knee pull.
Yeah, he's shown the ability. I mean, that's the one position typically where heavyweights are coached not to get in. Don't get stuck underneath. Don't carry your opponent's pressure. He actually goes into those. Yes. He attacks into those positions, which is very rare, which I think throws off most of the heavyweights. They're not used to wrestling with their opponent underneath them.
All right. That's it for our Final X breakdown. Gable Steveson and Nick Gwiazdowski. We'll see that this Saturday, Final X at Rutgers.